Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are excited about a sideways market again. I don't know. We could be just chopping for a while. They say selling may go away, but we got some people that just continuously say, nah, forget it. We got Albert in the house. We got Alex. Good morning to Bill, Brian, Dale, Eric. Good morning. Fayaz, Fabrice. Good morning. Franco's in the house. Gerline. Good morning. We got Hector Hernandez. Hector, you usually hit like 9:15. It's now I know it's a good day. Jay, good morning. We got Kevin Stone in the house. Lauren, Rick, G, Jay rocking with us. We got, speaking of rock, we got Rock Full. Good morning. We got Ron. We got the squadron here. We got YouTube up and loving. We got Put Spread. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning. We got Jeff. Everybody sitting in the background, just lurking in the back of YouTube. I know you're there. I know you're there. Make sure you guys hit that little like, thumbs up, and hit the subscribe if you guys have not. Make sure you guys hit that little notification bell. I don't know. Someone does something with the algos. Not Bill Gates. I don't know, but that's what people say to do. Hector says early birds gets the R's. Yeah, but in that saying, early bird gets the worm. Man, maybe that worm should have slept in a little bit sometimes. You know, just saying. All right, let's start with the SPY. Let us start with that SPY. Let's take a look at that market. Lauren says, yeah, by the way, as we go through the SPY, if there's any other tickers, Lauren says WAL. That's Western Alliance. Make sure you guys throw those tickers into. I just made everybody on YouTube cover their webcams. Nah, we got the relationship like that. Yeah, throw any tickers in because I don't think there's too many gaps-ish. There's a couple stocks we'll cover, but yeah, throw any stocks that you guys see are fine. Make sure you guys throw it into the chat pane. We'll definitely take a look at that. Harold says WMT. Gap is looking tempting. Yeah, I think they report tomorrow. So not swing trade, but yeah, could be a day trade. We'll check that out. SPY is a little bit of a gap. I would think a fairly nice gap, but my opinion doesn't matter too much. So the problem is with this gap and why I think the market might just clap it back down is because that's what the market does. We are right at support, right at resistance. We have a lot of different. I have to still be bullish. I can't not be bullish. I have to be like, I can't be bearish. That's not allowed. Yeah, we're kind of in this little chop zone. So I would not be surprised to see a stalemate at open and we just chop a little bit with a bullish sentiment. Could we come back down? And this is probably what I would like to see first. So let's go through my hopes and dreams. But I would like to see us maybe pull back to roughly 411.55. That would give me maybe like, hey, at least we could get a little better risk reward of the SPY. That close yesterday was perfect for bears to push it. Yeah, but they're not going to push it. Ron says you don't include wicks for gaps. No, you do. Actually, very much so. I got to put my I got to put my Zoom thing on a different screen if I could. Make it easy. Nope, just lost it altogether somehow. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yep. So this by definition is still a gap and go. We close right here. I don't know where we open, but it's looking like somewhere there. So this is a gap and go. The wicks don't define if it's a gap and go. The wicks define how good of a gap and go it could be. I would still venture out and say this is a really, really good gap and go. Right? Yes, we had bears come in here last time and push this thing down. Right? So we do have some kind of level where the bulls were not able to hold last time. Right? The bears came in, they said, no, enough's enough. Let's push this thing down. So we are in resistance area just from this wick. Right? And then I'm also looking at, okay, well, here's where we're opening. and it keeps moving on me. So that circle is going to be irrelevant in 12 seconds. But we still have VPOC from here with high volume. The good news is we are above all of this, right? So that's kind of like the line in the sand. Again, it depends on where we're opening because it's very, very close to it now. But if we could hold essentially 4-5 different VPOCs from here, all right, we got a bigger support than I think we do that resistance, but I can't ignore the resistance. And then once we get a little bit higher, we still have 2 more zones right there. When it comes to VPOCs, so just a quick coverage of VPOCs, the more it hits those VPOCs, the more likely eventually we will break that VPOC. That means that we're still, the bulls are at least able, maybe we couldn't get it the first 15 tries, but that 16 try, the bears, there's nobody else to short up there, right? They've already tried, exhausted all the bears, and then we break through. So at these levels right here, this is, I mean, now we've hit it here. We got through it here. We now hit it here. So question is, can we break through some of these and start holding them on the other side? So far, we haven't been able to, and we've just been in Chopzilla zone, but we'll see. All right. So I don't see the SPY gap. Well, this is where we closed. This is where we're opening. So by definition, we're gapping up. Yep. All right. Shop Fest says Jeffrey. I cannot agree more. JP's in the house. Good morning, JP. We'll take a look at Apple. All right, cool. So now we just got some tickers, it looks like, coming in. And if I miss some comments, I'm all over the place today. It's gonna be that kind of day. It's gonna be that kind of day. Jennifer says Nvidia. Yeah, we got a couple of Nvidias out there. All right. All right. I'm gonna hate looking at Nvidia. I'll tell you that right now. I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you why when we get there. All right, so we got a, yeah, maybe not. Oh, I didn't actually look at it today, but we got the Qs. Yep. So Qs are a little bit more of a retest gap, right? So again, it is a gap, even though we're not gapping outside of a range, right? So it is a retest gap. This is where we closed. This is where we're opening. We have VPOC right here. So I don't know. I mean, maybe we continue. It depends if we can get through this level up here, which is 328.38. Maybe a tad higher, 328.44, somewhere in that zone. If we can start closing above that, then we have continuation. But first, I would be looking at, okay, well, we did have this big run up, right? Now we put in some kind of potential reversal if this candle breaks. We're not obviously doing that. And probably could get some sell-off. And again, even on the SPY, I would like that little bit of a sell-off regardless. And then we start to pump. But SPY does look a little bit, in a weird way, better in terms of the gap because we're probably trapping some more of the bears. We're not really trapping any bears on the Qs, right? So this one probably fades down a little bit lower. So we'll see. But I don't know. I mean, again, even on, still buy the dip territory. One way or the other, buy the dip territory. Let's check out NVIDIA real quick. So NVIDIA, these lines are meaningless. Me and NVIDIA, we got some problems. I had 299.34 as my potential turnaround spot. I had my orders out there to short with some puts, and it didn't get there. I missed it. I missed it by like 50 cents. So I didn't get anything. I have no positions right now on NVIDIA, but again, it does look very much like the Qs. We do have VPOC, so we have to see what happens around 296.34. But so this is still an inside day. Even though it is a retest gap, it is inside day. I would just have to put probably a little bit more bearishness on NVIDIA today. I would rather take this thing short, but at two locations. One, the first spot I'd be looking for is here, and then I'd also be looking for here. I'm a little bit more nervous today to try to get this 299.34, only because we did run into a brick wall and just faded all day yesterday. So now if we're breaking out of that and to get to that 299, that tells me there's probably a little bit more. Either we do this first and then we start coming down. So I'd have to still wait on this thing. But this is a retest gap. I would think that this thing can hold somewhere around here. And then that's where we at least fade. And then we start to push up. So we'll have to see. And if we do that, so if we do start coming down and it's a couple days and then this thing starts to move up higher, then I don't mind resetting my orders for 299.34 because that could be double top. We get that one new pop and then we look to fade. If we do it immediately today, I'd be kind of nervous on that one. That means the bulls are really still in the game. All right. I know I missed like everybody's messages, so I apologize, but we'll get to them. The close of yesterday was so perfect for the Bills. Let's take a look real quick at Wall, since I know that was early in the messages. Hmm. It is a gap and go. The question is it going to act like a gap and go? That I'm not sure of. This one you would expect to run up higher. We are in a little bit of resistance zone and we've run up into this gap. So even though this is a gap and go, I think this one kind of acts a little bit more like a retest. Banks are wild. I have to be careful in the long. And then we start to hit VPOX. I don't know how far this thing's going to run. I think this one has a good potential to fade first and then start to run, even though this is a gap and go. It's a gap and go, but an uptrend. And especially with banks clearing out every other day. If I was in this one, and again, we do have I forget, I think it's Upwork. We have a trade on Upwork, swing trade, which I think if you guys want to get in, I think it's pretty much back at price depending on where this thing opens. But this is capitulation to me. So barring any other bad news that comes out in the banks or anything like that, you got these big high volume days. And then even in, I think it's Upwork. So Upwork is just kind of channeling like this. So we are triggered into Upwork. And then you're looking for that breakout, but this should mark the bottom, right? Providing there's no other bad news that specifically comes out about them. This is the bottom. And then I think, again, today, I think we get that retest first. So I don't want to be the first one to go bullish. And if I miss it, I miss it. But I'd have to highly consider those VPOX, where we are at resistance, and the fact that this is a little bit of an uptrend that I think could fade first. I don't know if I want to go short out of the gate either on it because it is a gap and go technically speaking. But if this thing comes down and fades, I would be keeping it on the list to go long eventually. Kind of looks interesting though. Let's throw this a little bit higher on the list just to see what happens. All right. Let's see what else we got. We got Apple AAPL. It is opening right below the 10. Could get saved somewhere around 170.96 if you think it could break it, which is essentially the low of this candle. So if you think you could break it, probably looking for targets around 169.87, which gives you about $2 ish to the downside, roughly, probably not even. But you're looking for some kind of support around 190, 160, 190, maybe 169.87 would be your kind of line in the sand. You also have another moving average coming in from that point. Not the greatest sign if you are a bull on Apple, but again, and this would make sense too if the Qs do what I think the Qs should, and if the SPY does what I want it to do, but doesn't necessarily have to. But this thing pulls back slightly, and then we start to kind of rampage up. And we saw the same gaps on Square. We saw the same gaps on Meta. So it's the same So again, if we look at Meta, and we'll see if Meta's moving for today, but very similar to Meta, what I think Apple might do, and a lot of these big gaps, they're all still bullish, all sentiment. I mean, all the gaps are incredible. This thing kind of fades down a little bit, and then you start to make your way up, right? So we did break underneath, did not quite close the gap, and then we start to rampage. All right, let's see what else came into the chat. Actually, see a few nice gaps today. It's not all choppy. I'm finding a little less gaps, so I don't know, but we'll see. We'll keep looking. Like, and I'm talking like gaps that like really look good, like that have a lot of room, not running into a bunch of nonsense. This one looks actually decent. Wynn Resorts Limited. Check your couch. Do you have money? Come to our casino. We'll take it. That's a decent one. Yeah, it's got some room. I don't know how far this thing's gonna run, but that looks like a decent gap and go. The one bigger, well, not one, but one concern that I would have is your volume candles. So your volume candles are here and here. So most of the bears are not really trapped yet, but I think you're starting to make them nervous in a worst case. So I could see some kind of a bounce to this one. Probably into this range somewhere. So that would be, I think targets on this thing could be about 108.16. So that might be a decent one in a bullish direction. All right, we'll throw that one up there. Again, it's not like we're breaking huge pivots or anything, but this thing could have some room. And then if we really go bullish and everything looks very strong, probably about 109.46. So it's got a decent amount of room to the upside. All right. I just got the brainwave scan email. All right. So they say after. Yep, Alex, a bit lower. Apple's gapping below last week. Nvidia is not my friend these past 2 months. You know, I feel you. You have 300 for puts. Yeah, I'll show you when we go live, and if the market goes slow, we'll pull up next targets after 300 if it keeps on rampaging. But at least at this level is where I think we start getting a little resistance on it. All right, so you got app 11. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Yeah, decent looking gap. Again, still into a little bit of resistance. Technically speaking, this one should fade first. It's a really nice gap. I think this one fades first, though. We are at that good resistance spot. This is a retest gap, so I would not be looking to go long out of the gate, but it is a really good gap. Still, the trend continues, and again, you have a big indecisive high wave candle. I think we played this one. Did we get this one for 3 hours? No, I think it was something else. But this is a good little high wave. The fact that we're breaking out looks phenomenal. But I do think this one, whether today or the next couple days, comes down, fades, and then we look to go higher on this one. But we'll throw app a little bit higher. Again, I kind of want that fade to come in first. Wynn would be the one I would be most excited for so far out of the gate. TSM. Warren Buffett parted ways with TSM. So they sold, Berkshire sold all the TSM, freeing it up for the real bulls to come in. Getting a little chop fest zone. But on this one, at least, so we are clearing the wick. We are clearing where the bears were. I would like to see this thing come down first to 86.49. So if we get to 86.49, that would be my interested buy spot. Or if this thing starts to really rampage, and then we start clearing probably 88.02, so about $1 higher. So you have about 40 cents to the upside, a little bit more to the downside. Technically, it is a green candle yesterday, but the interesting thing is you are clearing where the bears had resistance. So I don't think it's a clean, smooth one, but it is a very interesting looking gap. I did throw that one high on the list as well. Roblox can get a little bit higher at open. So if this thing could open somewhere about $39.97 to $40 in that range, that's probably a decent move. Again, this is still a retest gap, so into a little bit of resistance. I think it's a buy the dip. So if we can get a red candle, I'll be down with that. So if we get a red candle, I'll take a break on Roblox to go bullish, but everything does look a little bit healthy. You still have this, I believe this is a 200 right here in your face. That's about $40.26. But at least the trend would look decent still to continue bullish, as this is where we went bullish, took profits, cha-ching, and then rode it on up again. So it looks decent. Lehman says, good morning, Dan. Just logged in. Good morning. Like to hear what you have to say about Wix. I believe they had earnings, right? Was it like massive beat? Yeah, okay. A surprise beat of 528%. That qualifies as a good one. All right, so really, really good info in terms of earnings. Pretty massive gap. Technically it's a retest gap. Watch this zone, 85.77. Let's see if we get some profit taken on this one. Those dotted lines, a longer time frame, volume area. So if we can come down a little bit somewhere to this 85.77, I don't know necessarily that this gap has to close. In fact, I don't think it does. More importantly than even being the retest candle, and again, the volume was heavy yesterday, but that's more because of earnings. This candle is the breakdown candle. So this one right here, we broke down, and I think sentiment is reversed at this point. Anybody that's still in this thing, Wix is going to zero. They're all trapped. They're going to have to close. This volume alone will put some bullish buying onto the stock. Again, I would like to see us pull back a little bit into this. In fact, let's set an alert there as well. And my alert's going to go off right at open. We'll just have to watch Wix. But if I could get it down there, great. I like it a lot. Even at this zone, I'm not opposed to being a little bit more to the bullish side on this thing, just because it looks like we are clearing still a few levels if we open at this price. So let's add this one to the list. We'll watch this one as well. Bullish is the direction, though. And the question is where, how, and why. So this would be another one I'd probably be looking for. Okay, can we get some kind of red candle? Or if it dips a little further, then can we get like a mini high wave somewhere during the day and then run that thing bullish? Let's see. We got Walmart. I don't think we looked at that one yet. WMT. Target reported earnings. Honestly, I don't think the report was that good on Target, but the stock is being pretty resilient and holding up. So I wasn't a huge fan of the earnings. They kind of did it it was a very strange, short of just Target mentioning AI, like, hey, Target's going to get some AI, that would have made it really run bullish, but they kind of wasn't great on earnings, but their guidance was interesting. So they said, we don't know what the future is going to be. We still like it. We still see some growth, but we're also giving ourselves a little room for, just in case we get some pullbacks. Overall, we'll be strong. It was kind of like a very expanded forecast they threw out there. So the market, it's still holding up on it, which is good. And then again, we have Walmart coming out today, I believe. My guess is after the bell. Tomorrow. Yeah, never mind. So tomorrow, I don't know if that's after or before the bell, but we do have earnings coming out. So this is a gap and go on Walmart. Again, with earnings tomorrow, how's it going to act based on Target, where it wasn't like the strongest? And if Target was ripping, Walmart would absolutely probably be gapping up to 153.67 today. with anticipation, but I think we get a little bit more chop on Walmart today. So 151.84 and probably 150.69. I think we stay somewhere in that zone would make sense. And then let the earnings come into play tomorrow. So I don't know if it's going to have a wide range today. HD. Yeah, HD. They got absolutely hammer timed yesterday. Again, massive high wave. High wave is indecision. My guess is this is your range for today. This is probably your range going forward until it's not. As basic of an answer as that is. Usually high waves, you dance around there for a little bit before you decide which way you want to break. Home Depot at these levels, I'd want them still a little bit lower, but if you want to add some to the long term, I guess. I mean, they're not going out of business, but at the same time, you have a high wave. You do have, with this high wave wick at the bottom, a decent bear trap. So any bears under here that set their orders to go short, they're stuck, they're trapped. You're not really breaking out. If we start breaking here, then that's when all those, anybody that put the orders in will probably start to really close out. And that will give us enough room to say, all right, capitulation, high wave, bear trap, go long. Until that, it will be a little bit choppy. It is an inside day. So today as well. So we'll see what happens. We got 3 minutes left. Amazon and the Tessie. I'll be looking for the band 3-bar play. Yeah, they got a lot of good hits. They got a lot of good hits. My favorite song is Y4 when you can do it with 3. Mm-hmm. All right. Not bad on Amazon. Amazon, I think, has some room to run. About 115.58 though. Watch out for that zone on that would actually probably close this little mini gap over here as well, but that would take you to resistance. So 115.58 is the zone you have to watch for. I can't really go short yet, but if it gets to that zone, that's my opportunity to look short. We are at the very peak where the bears came in last time to smack this thing down. We do have VPOX lower, and I think that has to be at least retested. So looking for maybe a buy somewhere around 113.99 would make sense if I want to go long. Otherwise, right now, we're kind of just in the smack middle of everything. Let's take a look real quick at Tessie. Tessie just hanging out, just doing that sideways chop. I still think we get one more kind of push into this upper range. So I would be slightly more bullish on Tesla than bearish. That would also form a nice little double, not double bottom, but higher lows. And then we do kind of something like this, and then we come back if we're going to. All right. Unfortunately, we got like 20 seconds left. You guys in YouTube land, if you have not already, hit that thumbs up, that like, do that subscribe, notification, all that stuff. Check out reallifetrading.com. If you have not already, we got free education courses, and we have all access pass. You guys could literally hang out with us all day long and trade. We have cool classes that go on live as well. But